Welcome to another edition of Anglican Unscripted. This is episode 188, the multi-time zone sleepy reporter edition. I'm Kevin Carlson.
And I'm George Conger, reporting from the depths of Schloss Shore, deep in the bowels of the fortress of the Salt Palace Convention Center in Salt Lake City. And today is June 29th, 2015.
Okay, George and I are both out of our time zones and out of our elements. I just came back from Vancouver.
Out of our depths.
Out of our depths. I just got back from Vancouver. I am living only on coffee right now. It's my brain thinks it's 4 a.m. and it's really not. George is in Salt Lake, and he his body thinks it's probably like noon. So you got sleep in time. So we're all adjusting, and we all have big news that we're going to report. We'll probably do maybe 5 shows this week because lots of ACNA news, lots of tech news, lots of Anglican news. We got to catch you up. The biggest news right now for the Episcopal Church is they've elected a new presiding bishop that George and I are going to talk about. Catherine Jefferts Schori, the presiding bishop for the last 9 years, is stepping down. And no, don't play any Wizard of Oz music in the background. That's rude. We're not doing that here. This is a professional yet casual show today. George, let's start with the big news. Breaking on Anglican Ink this week was there is a new presiding bishop at the Episcopal Church, presiding bishop-elect Michael Curry. People are going to want to know who he is, what are his philosophies, where is he politically, and can this save the Episcopal Church? Let's start first with who is he?
Well, Kevin, I think we need to let our viewers know that I need to be circumspect in what I say. Yeah. I'm reporting from the Salt Palace Convention Center.
Yes.
And I've holed up in an interview room by myself, but I sort of feel like I'm a member of the French resistance, tapping away on my Morse code center, waiting for the Gestapo to break in and seize me off. So we've got to be quick, and I have to be circumspect.
Okay.
Because who knows? I may disappear, and they'll find my body in the desert in an oil can in a few years. Michael Curry, Bishop of North Carolina, elected first ballot on Saturday. Mm-hmm. First African-American, first time a bishop has been elected on the first ballot. An extraordinary day on many, many levels. Mm-hmm. Why is it extraordinary?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you why it's extraordinary.
I'm going to sip coffee. You tell me why.
Michael Curry is... It's very difficult to be serious.
What's the problem? Keep going. Michael Curry is what?
Michael Curry, according to every person I've spoken to, left, right, center, one of the up, down, all around, is going to be a breath of fresh air for the Episcopal Church. Mm-hmm. On the record, I spoke with the Archbishop, the Primus of the Scottish Episcopal Church. He forecasts Michael Curry being able to reconcile not only the Episcopal Church and the Church of England, but the Episcopal Church and the ACNA. Who knew? Yeah. I've spoken to Marion Buddy, Bishop of Washington, D.C. Bishop Buddy went into the St. Mark's Cathedral in Salt Lake on Saturday afternoon, all set to vote for one of her buddies, one of the other liberal candidates. Mm-hmm. And as she sat and she prayed, something came over her. She couldn't quite describe it, but she had this clear conviction that Michael Curry was God's choice. Mm-hmm. And so she changed her vote and voted for Michael Curry. Mm-hmm. I spoke with a conservative bishop who asked not to be named. He went in and he had pledged to support Dabney Smith, who came in number 2, believe it or not. The conservative ran second. But when you get 121 votes out of 174 cast, it doesn't really matter who is second. This person said he had pledged to support Dabney on the first round, but he struggled hard not to go first round with Michael Curry because there was something that overcame the people in that place.
Well, okay,
in 2006, let me just give you some vignettes because I think those sort of give a sense of thing. In 2006, as the bishops went in to vote, there was heavy caucusing and politicizing. Some of the women bishops were wearing little buttons supporting the presiding bishop, and they sat together and they gathered together. The only people who sat together this time around were the black bishops. That's how they identify themselves, by the way. They don't call themselves African American, they say black. The black bishops sat together, but they always sit together. But everybody else, all were spread out through the room. There was no caucusing, there was no politicking, there was no buttoning, no buttons.
It's a girl.
And the first ballot was taken. They went to have lunch, and in the middle of their lunch, they were told, we have a presiding bishop, and everybody was floored. 2006, when Katharine Jefferts Schori was elected after several ballots and intense politicking, and she won by one vote over Henry Parsley of Alabama. And she only won because John David Schofield and a number of other bishops who have since left or died voted for her, as they told me at the time, to bring the whole rotten house of cards down.
And it worked. It worked, yes. Now, but
this time, but after that vote in 2006, all the women jumped up and joy and singing and dancing, and it was a political show.
Right.
This time around, none of that.
Well,
Those who were runner-ups were congratulated. The Bishop Curry was congratulated, but there was this was a church election, not a political election. That's the first in a long time in the Episcopal Church.
so George, our audience is largely Anglican, Episcopalian, ACNA, and the big question in everybody's mind is, can there be unity again in North America? Can all the Anglicans start to play nice? And in order to do that, is Michael Curry the guy that can lead the Episcopal Church through a time of repentance for the sins of the predecessor? I don't know how else to say it. Is he the guy?
Of anybody who was running, he is.
Okay.
Now, the two questions here. Can it happen and will it happen? Somebody's got to start the ball rolling, and Michael Curry could be the person. Now, why do I say that? I don't know the man. Ryan Danker gives me good accounts of his character. But in response to the questions I prompted to him, as well as journalist David Virtue prompted him to answer, he is not backing the Jefferts Schori party line.
Right. Well,
David Virtue asked him, is he going to continue litigation?
Right.
That's a big question. And for many people, that is an emotional and practical topic. And Michael Curry, who was seated right next to Katharine Jefferts Schori at the time the question was asked, said, I support my presiding bishop and our leadership. Okay, that's one answer. And then he went on to say, but I don't know enough to comment about this issue. That's another answer. And then he went on to say, however, my goal is to have all of us together again. Now, he's not dumb, okay? If he truly wants us all together again, there's certain actions that have to be stopped.
Right.
So, did he say he's going to stop litigation? No, he did not. Did he intimate? Yes, he did. If he had said, yes, I'm going to stop right now, he's slapping Katharine Jefferts Schori in the face. He's not. So that sort of tells you the sort of person he is. He's not going to humiliate Jefferts Schori, but at the same time, he made it quite clear that he is a very different person. I asked him, what concrete steps would you take to restore fellowship within the Anglican world in the United States? He said, I don't know. I've only been presiding bishop-elect for about an hour and a half.
And we could give him that.
I'll give you slack. Kevin and I will give him 6 months, but after an hour and a half, I wanted an answer. And he said, I don't know, but I want to know, do you believe in Jesus? And if you believe in Jesus, I don't care if you're liberal or conservative, we can work together.
Okay.
And this is, one of the bishops, conservative bishops, told me that though he disagrees with Michael Curry, he and Michael Curry share the same basic assumptions, that Jesus is Lord, that we are sinners saved by grace. Now, they may have different outcomes of what all that means, but it's totally different from his predecessor, who began with a political ideology and found a way to apply the Bible to it as catchphrases.
Well,
Whereas Michael Curry starts with the gospel and is led to conclusions.
So
What that means is that he is open to reasoning and to prayerful consideration.
And so we can say this is a step in the right direction. Is it the step in the right direction will be determined over time. Now,
The General Convention has tremendous ability to screw things up completely.
or not be listened to at all by the predecessor. But I want to take this a little further, because a lot of people say, well, it wasn't Catherine Jefferson. Sure, it was. All the evil was caused by David Booth Beers, who sued and sued and sued and brought all this money into his law firm. Now, I've heard rumors, and you can help me if I'm wrong, that he might be stepping down, retiring, kicked out, fired. What have you heard about that?
Well, I will characterize it in this fashion.
Okay.
David Booth Beers, a resolution has been put forward thanking him for his years of service. Mm-hmm. You don't put forward resolutions thanking people for their years of service if they're going to stick around for more years. However, David Booth Beers has had a co-counsel, Mary Costro, and she is up on the podium next to the presiding bishop right now. So the current presiding bishop is not going to switch law firms. She may switch to different partners in the law firm.
Yeah.
But time will tell. Will Stacey Souls be eased out over the next 6 months to a year? Will a new law firm be brought in? Will settlements happen? And I truly believe that what the people who I've spoke to tell me, they believe it. Okay. What I'm trying to say is no one's feeding me a line. This is not propaganda. Conservatives and liberals and the Scottish Archbishop all come along the line that this really is a historic moment. There are wonderful possibilities for positive change. Hear the words, possibility change. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It could. Bad staff surrounding a new presiding bishop who likes to preach but doesn't like to sort of follow the details. That's a remedy for 9 more years of what we've had.
Right. Well, we're running up against the clock here. We have to close out the show.
And I hear the radio detection van is coming close, so we need to finish up.
We need to finish up. George and I are going to record each day this week different topics about what's happening. People want to know about the resolutions that have been put forth. A lot of stuff, because Michael Curry has been elected, have just stopped. And the Supreme Court decision has stopped a lot of stuff that was going through the floor of House of Deputies and House of Bishops. So we need to bring you that news as well. If you get a chance, go to AnglicanInc.com. George's posts, close to 5 to 10 stories a day about what's happening there, and we'll keep you up to date. I'm back now in Connecticut, drinking coffee. George doesn't drink coffee. What do you drink? Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke. What, you got one around there?
Well, I'm not allowed to show it. This is Utah, after all.
Oh yeah, it's Utah. That's right. It's a bit stiff for Utah. So I'm Kevin Carlson.
And I'm George Conger. You've been watching episode 188 of Anglican Unscripted.